Okay, I am very sad to be reaching the end of CrossCode. Like, whenever you get to the end of one of these games that you're super into, it's this kind of feeling of sadness that collapse the wave function. You kind of know how it works, you know where it's going and not going, that sort of thing. Let's go ahead. I had actually last episode just finished the cutscene where I got everybody on my side, so it might be that I have to go over to the hideout now to progress. I think it lets me warp to the Vermilion Wasteland, right? It's still blocked. I have a direct warp to old hideout. They went to the old dojo to uncover the secret path towards the Vermilion Wasteland. Yeah, the main quest doesn't show up on the quest list, though, does it? I didn't think it did. Maybe I shouldn't have left that position. Meet everyone at old dojo. Okay, thank you. Yo. Gonna go rescue the Evotars. Because they're like super high level players. Let's go through here, there's no turning back. Okay. Just make one more save just in case. Yeah, I actually did not know it was on the pause screen this whole time. I've usually just closely watched the end of the previous VOD. This is cool. What's up? That's cool to have a little optional dialogue with your party members as you run through the long hallway. Lucas seems to be quite dear to you. Alright, we've got party members that are able to intuit things based on clues. I love it. I do really like that no one in this game is an idiot. Situations so hard to grasp for me. We enjoy games like Crossroads because they allow us to live a fantasy. Like a lesser game would have played up a lot of this for like extra drama. Like they could have played up her hugging the real Schneider for like hours, and it was kind of like a throwaway thing. It was awkward for like a scene, and then they got over it and figured out what was going on. Our fantasy is your reality. This is a really cool sequence, by the way. I like having dialogue with everyone on your way out. Passed the Turing test with flying colors. Leah! Cool. You've had a hard time not being able to talk or not knowing about yourself. Yeah. Then Leah fell into a pit and died. The end. Aww. This game's cute. You want me to drop the Spheromancer as well? Afraid I'd never do that. It's a noble title every player of our class should wear with pride. Thanks. Well, the truth is out. It seems I was right. From the very beginning, you've been cheating. Very proud of you. Going into a prime example of a Spheromancer. Aw. This is like so JRPG, but it's done in, it's like very well executed, right? Having the last little character arc moments with the party. I really acted the worst, didn't I? Kept poking you about your real life. Aw. Yay! They need to get more value out of that hug animation. I wonder what the deal is if they're trying to set something up with Tron not being here. Yeah, right? This isn't even my first character. Hey, how are you doing? Assemble as many Evo towers as we can find, get them close to the quest hub to the east, and then subject them to a certain field effect. This game feels like, to old school JRPGs, like what Indiana Jones is for like 20s and 30s pulp, right? Let's take that, let's take the parts we like, let's like make it, give it a lot of solid mass market appeal. Take the good stuff, leave out the bad stuff, and like polish it to a mirror shine. All of his characters are Spheromancers. I've known people like that. What's going on with my lights lately? Hold on a sec. I want to turn the exposure up another step because, yeah, that's. Well, it might have to be. Could be worse. Team B will take care of the forest in the north, Team C the river delta in the south. Yeah, wouldn't it be great if he brought his main? I guess we just need bodies. We don't really necessarily need them to be like super powerful. Oh, that's better. Operation start. What a gloomy place. No kidding. Hey, it's my man. They did a quick flashback about to tell us he was a little bit deeper and was not the one-dimensional corporate villain you may have been expecting. Sidwell. Nice, Spiky. Area is off limits. Leave it once unless you want all your accounts to be suspended. You can't risk reporting this through official channels. Man, risk having your account suspended like that is a serious thing to push through for a friend. If a magical old-school RuneScape AI told me that I could help her, but I would risk getting my RuneScape account suspended, like, oh, like 500 hours of this thing. Lose the sole copy of every avatar, including Satoshi. Hostage you can't afford to lose. That makes sense. It'd be wise not to overestimate my attachment to all this. Nice. Cool. Those robot things. Barriers are connected to the enemies. Of course they are. I love it. Yeah, I like how you kind of did the classic, come here in like Act 2 and get your ass kicked by these guys. And you come back now and you're much higher level and they're not as big of a threat. We can see how far the protagonist has grown. really dug that part of the game. Genuinely unsettling. The reveal was handled really well. They didn't like... It's hard to describe this, but like there's a way to do a reveal like, oh, the protagonist was actually an AI the whole time, and like really gloat about it. Or, like kind of like make fun of the player for not picking up on it, sort of a thing. And they just kind of revealed it, and then there was a natural emotional consequence to that reveal, and then we kind of moved on with the story, right? Yeah, I do like this battle theme. The crazy boss fight, insane health. You should go to the quest hub. They got amazing loot there. Quest hub to say. Marker. Oh, clever. Holy friggin' lasers! Markers catch the laser beams. Use them for your protection. Got it. And now we have to fight. Zap every Evitar in this area. For every Evitar, there are 3 steps to follow. Defeat a nearby Shredder unit to start the fixation routine. Oh, is this the hit stun overflow bug? Yeah. Defeat a Shredder close to the Evitar to fixate it. Fixed Evitar needs to be hit by the laser. So the enemies need to die near the Evitar? I'm not sure I completely followed what they were saying there. Oh, I see. They do like a fixation routine. Gotcha. And there's a bar that's filling up. Okay. Knock their corpse around. Okay. That's what the fixation routine says when they're almost dead there. So this one's already done, so I have to go find another one, right? It's got that full green effect. And standing on these gives you an arrow of where you should be going, it looks like. I think I get it. Fixated. I think I get it now, okay. It is okay for me to stand under the thing and hide. Like, I don't have to, like, lure the giant laser on top of it, right? Am I safe standing underneath it? Okay, I am. Gotcha. It wasn't clear that I was safe. I get it now. It's hard to understand through text what they were describing. More players in the forest. Oh, that's gonna be bad. So the arrow's always going to point to the nearest... Okay. Got it. Until it shows us fully fixated, I just use the arrows. Okay. It's a cool plot relevant sequence. So you start sending the green stuff, and the green stuff is what gives them a little roof that I can safely stand under. And they don't have to be like right next to them when they die, just like they start draining into the avatars when they're dead near them. Like that. Now it's fixated. Now I can hide under you. Yeah, splitting a weird bug makes it a good reason to make this literally anything. It's cool. If you get their corpse right on top of them, it's like an instant fixation. Not being under the umbrella thing doesn't mean that you're dead. Already dead. Okay. Hiding behind the wall there. I like how they're all different elements too, so you have good reason to use all of them. Yeah, right. No, I really appreciate their approach to like story design and world building in this game. A lot of the times they ask things like, well, if it was an MMO, how would it work? Like, if the player did this, how would they respond, you know? I feel like a lot of video games go in the opposite direction. Like, I want this moment to happen, so how can I force that to happen, right? So I need to like jumping puzzle my way up there. That wasn't so bad. Gonna do like the audio cue and laser. You have plenty of time to go hide. This whole sequence is pretty reasonable to figure out, I think. Shit. You can stand just beneath it, don't you? Perfect. Yeah, I feel like putting the arrow indicators when you hide under the little laser umbrellas is a really good decision too. It'd be easy to get lost and frustrated in this section otherwise. This is supposed to be like a triumphant section, so I don't think they want it to be overly difficult. It was like the QTE in Resident Evil 5, where it's like, this is supposed to be a really important narrative moment, so making it difficult is not good. Like, actively bad. This one likes to run away from me. Where'd she go? She ran up. There it is. Perfect. Stay here and make sure no enemy interferes with the avatars. Cool. There's several players left in this area. Sap them right here. It's a cool way to get you using all the party members too, by like having you swap between them on each screen. Whoa, that's a neat version of the attack. Yeah, I guess the first screen probably didn't need to have everybody running in each time, since you're already going to be going to different screens and swapping between characters. It's not like, you know, actually bad. I do like, you know, having to like leave people behind to carry a certain section of the stage for you. I think this works this time. Good enough. Because the purpose is they want to show you that the other characters in the guild are helping you the entire time, right? It's a bad idea. Oh, those are not the right moves that I thought I was triggering there. Having like the green lasers on them too, so you can see where the avatar is relative to the shredder, is really smart. That might be jumping puzzling. I guess what they could have done is they could have had a section before the hit stun bug spam. That's just like, you know, traditional combat. It's a little bit faster. Just kill a bunch of enemies and rotate out characters. And you could do something where like, okay, now this is taking so long that we need to leave some of these characters behind to like hold down the fort or something. I actually don't remember how to get up there. Oh yeah, I'm working on it. Remember how to get up there. That's a neat little objective. Feels different from other objectives, which is just something this game excels at across the board. Non-degenerate challenges. Cool. Because you have to actually jumping puzzle your whole way up there. I was actually just wondering that. Ah, bummer. shoot. Did not see her over there before. I could have accessed her from this direction anyway. Okay, good to know. I wonder if the lasers charges faster whenever you get a fixation. Northwest. But you can technically outrun that laser too. So they warn you before you leave Vermilion Wastelands if you wanted to finish getting stuff here. I guess I started that without finishing it before. Okay. Cool. We're stuck. Albert, you help Apollo when you're in defend the area. What you hope to achieve with this? It's clear your goal is to interfere with the avatars of this area. Will you continue doing this as you please? Forget about one particular avatar. Oh, nice. Perfect build-up. So all beings are still at my mercy. Give you this one last chance to reconsider your current course. Leah. Got me. I see the shield destroys it. Keeps it from fixating. Added a countermeasure already? That's a well-telegraphed attack. Oh hey, Shizuka's gonna save the day. Nice. Move locations in advance. I'll be fine. Right, because there is a risk to her being involved. Awesome. We know she's a badass because last episode she fucking kicked my ass. The shutters will be marked with yellow stars. Defeat those and push them toward the avatars. Okay. First try. A little hack indicator on them, that's cool. Okay, perfect. Now I need to actually fixate on them still. All I've done is broken the barrier. It makes the non-starred ones still relevant, I guess. One's been fixated. Perfect. Not a workaround already. Shit. Wrong one. Other one's revealed. Perfect, good job, Shizuka. Actually helpful companions are always fun. Such a cool concept for the bug that we're exploiting, it makes sense. So we've already established that laser hits you like a million times. Perfect. It didn't work as expected. Zapped every avatar in the area. There's one avatar left. Hi. Oh. Oh, sorry. Never read the part that you don't get XP. Unexpected error. Avatar server crashed. I wonder if they're going to get rolled back when we recover it, right? Nice. So, am I going to play as Shizuka for a minute? No, because I'm on a different server. That's what makes me special. Crashed the avatar server. Everything exploded? Data's still intact. It can be recovered. So rebooting the server won't fix it either. I'm really impressed. The avatar interrogation program has been a tremendous success. It's all thanks to your efforts. It was necessary to uphold the business. He wanted to drop everything and tell the authorities. Very Westworld. It said Jonathan Nolan totally ripped off this game. Westworld is very CrossCode. It's interesting. The only way they can keep the project going is to do it evilly. I've actually seen this argument about all sorts of things. Of course businesses have to behave immorally. It's not that they're immoral, it's that they're amoral. It's like, We make any of this public, Entertainment will shut us down at once. We only operate in the shadow of the company, hidden in the playground. Conveniently limited view. Immoral. Yeah, and we did the side quest about introducing the avatars to someone with influence in its attainments. Your deceptive speech shall not blind us. Well, everyone gets a little line against the final boss. It's so JRPG, right? It's like everybody queuing up to bitch at Sephiroth at the end of 7. Well, at Genova. Whatever that gross, gloopy thing is in the center of the crater. You mean, hostile, Lovecraftian, cosmic horror. We're gonna fight you. Even if you look like Sexy Man. Inside a dungeon instance. You can clear the room instance of the server at any time, effectively removing the platform below it, letting it fall and crash. We beg to differ. Oh, hey. Really? Gotham's gonna help in the end? Prepare the ultimate challenge, the quintessential experience, just for you. Reach the top and you'll find the server you seek. Thrilled to watch your reset. It's a fancy looking blue guy. Fucking DMs. He's using the environment server, but he wants to give us a challenge. Nice. We got a long hallway. Here to take on his challenge. I'm sure he doesn't want us to cheat. I like that they've earned this. In a lot of cases, you might be like, "Oh, it's a little cheesy that like you have all that dramatic build-up, and now it's like, okay, now go do a dungeon." But Gotham has been established as the sort of character that would set this up at the end because he wants to have this dramatic encounter. So. Also, I'd like there to be a final dungeon. It would be a bummer if the game just ended. Oh yeah, the little virus guys. Really love these dudes. So these guys had a special mechanic before where they were like near certain things, it would cause them to explode. I'm trying to remember, like, do they have to be broken for it to work? Okay, no, they trigger a break when it happens. I don't think it's too indulgent. It kind of adds to the story the game is telling, too. Or this has been a really important part of it, the dungeon crawling with the puzzles and the big fights like this one. Ow, rude. So it's like to pop their shields, I need to like break. Okay. Sorry, it's been a while since I've fought this enemy type. They get there and neutralize them, and then they break. Then you can finish them off. And like the gray ones only exist to be broken for that. That's why they keep respawning. Seek the ultimate experience. That's why we create. Vast forests, majestic mountains, mysterious caves. Any place that can harbor a story and nourish a memory. Nice. Oh, interesting. Oh. Huh. With a flame shield? Oh. New mechanics even this far into the game. Big fan. Cool. 4-0. Oh, I think I get it. I have to... There it is, okay. Gotcha. So make sure you don't accidentally get a shot in there. Okay, exploding bombs. We've got ice and platforms, and they're really having a fun time with this. And then since it's ice, I see. Oh, I think I see what's supposed to happen here. Sure. It goes here, and then this goes here, and this goes here, and then this goes here. Oh, it wasn't high enough up, shit. So how do I get it one square higher? Ooh. Oh, I think I might maybe see. How would I get it in the dead center, though? It would just be up and down, which is useless to me right now. It's not actually helpful. I need to be able to launch a block to get stuck on this block so it has a straight line through here, so I can launch it through here so it blocks the fireball so I can get the thing out of there. Let me see if there's other stuff in this room that I can interact with. I don't think so. I'm just confirming here. Just goes boom. Okay. Yeah, so I think that I need to get a block here. Let's see if there's an obvious way to do that. I can put this one back here pretty easily. It's not helpful. Don't know if that's helpful, probably isn't. Hey Jan, how you doing? Alright, so we got it that far before, but it needs to be one step higher. Oh, maybe I can just do it from here. Maybe I was making it complicated before. But that might still be... No, it might be too high. Yeah, it needs to be 1 pixel lower than that. Hey Markel, how you doing? I guess I can keep stepping these up on top of each other, but is that helpful to me? Can I do the same thing from the opposite side? I can keep getting higher and higher on the left side. A lot of spooky streams. Yeah, I highly recommend CrossCode. Cannot recommend it enough. Yeah, thanks, sir. So just a question, I mean, the solution's ultimately going to involve me standing here while there's a block here, right? And then there's another pillar that is like 1 space above this one, so that it can go straight down. That's right, isn't it? So I can get this back here every time. Take Stargamer. I guess, are there any other puzzle elements that I'm missing right now, or am I working with these? I can launch it here. Oh, I think that's my answer. Okay. I really wanted to get it in the center for whatever reason. It didn't matter. Hooray! First try. Alright. Made that more complicated than it needed to be. That's how I do. Well, that sucks. I guess I don't need that switch anymore, though? Okay. Does it always get destroyed? Okay, no, I can roll all the way over that thing. So is it just like clipping the right side of the wall here? There it goes. First try. Alright, come on. So I need to find a way to get up there. There are exploding rocks in my way? No kidding. We've got little golf holes here. Can trigger that, but that does nothing on its own. So it's got to have another buddy there. This guy probably needs to be in like the center, I would guess. Let's try it. that doesn't last forever. And I need to be up high to be able to knock it over. Or I need to shoot it with one of these guys. I think that works. Okay, so I can launch it over the top. How would I want it to go? That bomb can't fit through the bars there, right? But can the explosion destroy those rocks through the bars? I don't think it travels fast enough. So we got this line here, it's like a guideline. I was asking, can the explosion destroy those rocks through those bars? Okay. Move these around real quick then. Huh. So I can like roll all the way over the tops of these platforms here. So my original plan here was to like roll the bomb over the top of these platforms, but I think what's actually happening is that the bomb is falling down, hitting the platform, and then launching it forward. Is that right? So I might be on the wrong track here. Let's try it again without... Alright, so there, it seems like it's almost there, but then it blows up before it makes it. Maybe I just need to get this block out of the way is the problem. Okay, so it needs to be another square higher. But I can't increase the base height of this pillar, as far as I know. Because that's clearly wrong. If I launched it from up here, that wouldn't matter. It's not like that makes it higher, and actually makes it lower in this case. So my original plan was to follow this like guideline here that goes up to the rocks and try to place some blocks along that path so that it continues to roll along the top of the blocks. But I feel like this is the only block that it can possibly roll on, right? Because it's empty. And if it touched these little lightning rods, that they would just explode. Is that correct? Would they just explode? Okay, so... But does rolling the bomb over any of these blocks, is that part of the answer? So I haven't tried it in every possible location over here. Does this block matter at all to the solution? Oh, actually, I think I have an idea now.
Try dashing through my cat.
Try tongues. What
Okay, I think that's it.
Horse? Really? Why would someone write that? Holy shit, what the fuck is that?
No, I think I got it now. I have to bounce it onto the block. Actually, hold up. I should be able to launch it further from there. No, I can't fix the location of this one. There we go. Okay. So it needs to be a little bit further up. I guess I need to see how far I can launch on its own. Yeah, it's gotta be like 1 square higher. Okay. I think I can make that happen. Cool puzzle. Really? Okay, so I can only get on there. This has to be where the bomb lands, right? It can't possibly land anywhere else. Or it has to be where the bomb lands. I'll be careful in my phrasing here. Oh, that's aggressive timing. Oh, we got it though. Hooray, hooray. First try. Screw you, trap.
Marstead. First try.
It's a very cool puzzle. Oh, interesting. Now I can damage it. That's clever. Good. Phase transition. Get some CP back. About to die. I'm so dead. Nice. Lego Batman. Throws like a million batarangs at something and then says first try. Cool. More in-game puzzles. That's nice. Okay. Let's see. Sure. Depending on what you hit it with, it either pulls it towards you or knocks it away from you. Got it. Okay, complicated. Launch it over. We don't actually want that. Got a ricochet problem if I try to do that. We need to get that to get through that section of the stage, though. It's a nice way to cordon off sections of this level, so I have to finish parts of the puzzle, you know? Alright, so if I launch this thing normally... Don't want to do that. I'd aim it better if I'm going to do that. Well, maybe I have to trigger this thing first. It wants to shoot it that way, so we don't want to do that. This is the final dungeon. Womp womp. Guess you've got guidelines on the floor here, huh? Yeah, okay. And then that temporarily raises. Okay. Why does that help me, though? This game is extremely exciting. Alright, I should figure out why I care about that, and why that helps me get out of here. What does that afford me? I can't possibly be standing on it. I could try to launch something in there. It's not really helpful. I guess there's probably something I don't yet understand about those nodes. Like when they get pulled, if they can be pulled up and down. I'm guessing the existence of this thing suggests they can be pulled up or something. Try to figure out where I'm shooting it, though. It doesn't actually get caught in that thing, does its So these things cannot move through the orange barriers, right? They can push up against the orange barriers, they cannot move through them. I don't think this helps me yet. I don't think there's anything I can do with this now. There's gotta be something else I can do in the room first, so I'll try. Let's see. Try to angle this better. Oh, I can just... Wow, that's dumb. Okay. Everything has to be ricochets, right? Forget that you don't always have to have portals. What did that do, though? Why do I care? Guess it lets me get it on the top of that thing. So I don't have to do these at the same time. Okay. I got it now. There it is. And that's going to launch up, and then I'm going to be able to get it out of there. Okay, got it. It's a cool way to use the same water asset for like multiple things, you know. Oh, that's not good. So we want to pull it to us, but we can just shoot it directly, can't we? Okay. Oh, but we can't shoot it directly because... Maybe that's why they're showing us this. There's a lot of ground conveyance in this this level. I appreciate it. Okay, I think we want to repel it here. Oh, but it needs to be tall, doesn't it? Seems like the only way to pull it out is like straight up, but then it just falls down and it kind of defeats the purpose. Hi, Ben. I guess I can shoot it directly, but it just kind of gets it more stuck in the little platform that it's on. Is this like a timing thing? Chad can answer this. Like, do I need to like shoot this so that it pulls off at exactly the moment the thing falls down? So that it comes over that, like... I'm not clear. Oh. Well, that's dumb. I mean, I'm dumb for not thinking it would work that way, I guess. My bad. Alright. Yeah, I really thought that the orange walls would like completely stop it from moving through that, but I guess it didn't care. Okay, lightning redirect puzzle. I think they have to be charged shots, right? And they have to be, well, no, I guess not. Oh, I could have just done this. Because I had it in a place where I could actually hit it with rapid shots. Because the problem is, otherwise to hit it I have to do ricocheting. Okay, I think I understand. That'll change the way I approach the rest of these then. Okay. You rotate these and it launches them or something? I hit these before. I'm trying to remember what I have to launch at them to get them to trigger. I thought it was a charged, like one of those lightning balls, but let's try doing this first. Nope, we're not doing that first. Gotta lower these. I guess hitting this lowers the second one so that I can trigger that part. And then that raises this, probably. Get into a position where you can pop it, right? I do still have the wind thingy, don't I? Okay. We want to launch it forward a bit first. Okay, good. That's a permanent change, too. Yeah, I do like them. They do a good job. I guess the original game didn't do a very good job. They had to like add in some arrows in the first dungeon because people were super confused about the way they were supposed to work. But after the arrows were added, like, it made a lot of sense to me. I had a good spot there. I feel like this isn't what they want me to do every time, though. So maybe use the wind blocks to change the direction it's headed in. See, because it's eventually going to go up here, and then here, and then there, and there, and there. Yeah, in the earlier dungeon, there's arrows on the blocks that show you which way the wind ball is going to go when you fire on it. They're not here because it's a late game, and you would have to have already understood it to get here, but... doesn't cut it. Oh, actually, I think I know it. Well, can I jump below this? I can do that. No, okay, I can't just shoot it, make it bounce up and down. Just for funsies, I haven't tried this. Okay, so wind ball doesn't care. So I'm definitely making this one way more complicated than it's supposed to be, right? Is it like a multiple bounce type situation to get it to launch there? Because if I do too many bounces, then it explodes. And I can't get it to ricochet... Like, I want it to ricochet off the eastern wall and go down. I don't really have an angle to pull that off. I keep getting it in that corner, that's not helpful to me. It's not the intended way to do it. Does moving this thing involve using either the wind or lightning elements? I assume it was just going to be ice. Second leg of the hallway is designed to stop it from diagonally bouncing in. It's like, that's not helpful. And shooting wind through it also does nothing because the wind doesn't interact with it. It does involve using wind or lightning. Pretty much only go right there. It's a good mindset to get into if we're switching to Baba as you and we beat this. Okay. I'm open to ideas on this one. I'm actually pretty stuck. I feel like my brain keeps wanting to go to the janky shot pattern solution, and I feel like that's bad. This does not feel right, but it looks like it could work. I guess if you guys can come up with a hint that doesn't give it away, that would be cool. Talk about it in height or something. It spins, it bounces too much for that to be the answer. It just bounces back and forth. Something Albert Einstein. Okay, hold on. I don't think it's the lightning orb, because the lightning orb can't get in there at all, right? How does fire help me? Fire just melts my little guy. Yeah. I don't see anywhere to steam. Out of curiosity. Nope. This is just going to launch it straight forward, so that's also not it. Yeah, but we've already established that the Gale thing doesn't interact with the water orb. This would be really dumb if it... Oh, well... Okay, I think I understand why that worked the way it did. I'm not happy about it. Yeah, that's unfortunate. It's cool because it's the first time you're ever making the water interact with the water orb interact with the wind ball. But I feel like if I were to make a change here, I would make it so that the wind ball does respond to the the wind ball does respond to the water orb, because if it did, it wouldn't help you to solve the puzzle, but it would tell you, these things can interact, Because I actually, by doing this experiment like 5 or 10 minutes ago, I just assumed, oh, they don't interact. It can't possibly be the solution. It's cool. No, what's the deal? I like the idea of archiving games, though. First try. Okay. Nice. This one's ice elemental. Important that I learned that earlier. Should try to pre-plan how I'm going to do this solution on top. Have a guess. Ow, 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 ow. It's going to have to be like this. Oh, now I think it's going to be a push rather than a pull. Ow. I'm in trouble. keep almost dying here and ending up okay. See the ultimate experience. Our means have been restricted. Obstacles have been placed, limiting our true potential. True creative freedom is what we required. I think we're done with this floor. I mean, ish. Glitch, bud. Presume he's weak against lightning. Ow. Ow. Just pooped glitch all over me. What a dick. The fact that he's wind elemental means that's not going to be an effective form of healing. Ow. Got a history of enemies we think who are dead who then poop on you. Better. Make sure I heal before I kill these guys. Come here. Three jumps in. 4 jumps in. Alright. Let's see how it is. Hooray, first try. Oops. Gonna level up in a minute. Saving up for something that costs like 8. Thought it was like an HP boost. Yeah, it was gonna cost 8 total for me to get to it. Pull that for you. Or 2. Let's see. Weird. Not have a thing for it to bounce? This can't be what they want me to do. It's on the way through here, though. Normally this would be a straightforward bounce, but there's not an angle over here. Can't shoot it through other means. So you can pull it out of there ever so slightly. It's already counting a lot of ricochets though for it to even get in that corner. There we go. First try. In fact, there's another one down there. Oh, you probably use it. I guess the wind could knock it forward. It was the same thing. So the wind can interact with that to push it forward. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I think I know what I was supposed to do now. Okay, that should get us there. Well, there's something else going on with this one. Really? That's clever. It's 2 are enough, apparently. Because the previous puzzle was meant to teach you can hit these things with the wind thing. Clever. Okay, that doesn't really help me get in there. And are there any other warpy places we can get to? Okay. Sure have a lot of time here. Okay, that gets me back out of here. I don't think that's the main advantage of getting in there, though, is it? Why else would I want to be in here? Oh, it lowered the thing up top. Okay, I see. I didn't notice that happen the first time. So I want to get to it from the bottom, I think. Okay. But I need to have, like, uninterrupted shots in order to be able to charge that thing, don't I? Okay, I've got to guess. Charge it, and then try to get up there. Clever. And we actually want to send it away. I really like the puzzles in this dungeon for the most part. They're quite cool. Thank you. Okay. Bomb puzzles. Great. And slow down thing. And now this. Well, I mean, that wasn't what I wanted, but could have been worse. Did I just accidentally fire it in the right direction the first time? I actually don't know how I bounced it there last time. Oh, that time it wasn't high enough. Dude, I don't even know what I did that first time. Yikes. So I can just launch it straight forward, but that doesn't bounce it where I need it to. Don't question it, just roll with it. Got several answers like that we need to make. No, hurry up! Ah, bummer. So sometimes it's too high and it doesn't bounce the way I expect it to. Here it's gonna fly right over it, okay. There we go. Alright, well, that's changed things not very much, but I'm actually curious now. Lightning doesn't care about it at all? Question mark? That's all that does. I need to aim that better. If I can blow up that rock down there, then I can do this a lot less stupidly. Can't get quite high enough for that. Ah. So I think like this can eventually work, but I also think that it's super cheesy and not how you're supposed to do it. And it's probably distracting me from actually finding their intended solution. Oops. In this case, I think these little teleporters are not in my favor for the most part. Okay, but I'd have to launch it so that it hits the rock without touching this part here, and I'd have to be ready to start moving over there as soon as it's ready. This might actually be easier with the mouse and keyboard. Ooh, I think I just barely grazed it there. Just graze it again. Woof. What if I just launch it straight to the side? Does it like bounce off the walls and knock off for me? It does! That's much easier. So I had the right idea, I was just aiming it stupidly because I didn't see the size of the wall there. Okay. Can't quite get it on that thing. I don't think I can land it on top of that guy. It's supposed to be slow-mo to give you plenty of time to get over there, but you have to know the shot's gonna land. It's actually not that helpful. I have to find a way to get the bomb to travel all the way over here, from back here. I mean, I could probably knock it down regardless. Okay, that changes things. Cool. These are the ones where if it bounces off a wind thing, it teleports. So that's going to be part of it. This makes way more sense. I don't think I actually need to bust that other one. It doesn't really help me anyway. Oh no, I do need to bust it. Okay. Try following the lines. Oops. Still doesn't quite make it. Feels like it's like just short, that if I shot it a couple times, then I might make it eventually. So I only get one chance to bounce it, right? Then it explodes. Oh, I think I know what I have to do. Okay. God, that's complicated though. Let me practice moving the pillar first. That doesn't do it. Try to line it up with the crap on the floor. Okay. But then I gotta go aim really fast. The bomb blows up really quickly. Whoops. Nope. That's why I had to blow up the rocks on the bottom so I could access that. We've already established the bombs can blow up through the gate. Perfect. Okay, now I need to bounce. The pillar needs to start here no matter what. Right? So I can bounce it from here to there. Can I bounce it to the second one? I did accidentally last time. But it needs to end up here. That seems complicated. I don't have enough time. Unless if I'm shooting multiple times, but that seems crazy. I feel like it's got to be one shot. It can't be two consecutive shots because the bomb's gonna... You just don't have enough time to get the bomb over there. So is there a way that I can angle a shot from here so that it hits this guy? Jesus. Seems unlikely. I can get it straight to that one, but then I have to like run all the way over here to make it to the second one. So I want to block this one, and I think it would make it. Alright, well, this is impossible, so there has to be something else going on here. Nothing down here, that's death. Got one of these guys, but lightning isn't very helpful here. Can I launch it straight into this wall? Oh, I bet this is it. Clever. Okay. Very cool. So I need to have that ready at the beginning. Okay, so you need to be ready to go. Go faster! Oh, man. Something's fishy here. Where does this launch to if I launch it straight? Oh, it launches it to the right. I guess I didn't realize that before. Okay. That's to give me time to, like, fire the thing. That last attempt just seemed impossible, so... Okay. So, if we fire this... I think it gives me plenty of time, maybe. Wow. Pretty cool, gotta say. 'Tis quite neat. Yeah, I'm trying to think, like, what do the shield things represent? They probably represent something that's going to matter in the boss fight. I couldn't imagine them introducing this and then not using it in the boss fight. They're already using it in these little mini-bosses. We've had this problem before. Let's see, but now I still have the problem that it's launching. So this can either go straight through the wall, or down and to the right if I launch it that way, which isn't helpful. It's going to go straight up, which isn't helpful. I try launching it in here. Okay, doesn't help me. Go straight through the wall. I can't bounce this here. No. Oh, that's not that complicated. It's probably going to get complicated with the secret walls after this one. Great. Okay. Phase 2. Yeah, I think it's because, like, the design philosophy of this game places puzzles, like, puzzles aren't a thing, aren't a distraction. An example I like to jump to is, pause, because I can't talk and do this puzzle in. All the crazy mini-games in Final Fantasy VII, right? It's pretty cool, but it's definitely, like, this team suddenly has access to PS1 technology, and they're like, what if we did a little sneaking minigame where you have to sneak behind the statues? And what if we did a little submarine level? And it's like, none of them are very good. They're all pretty unpolished. But because that wasn't like a focus of the game, it's like we really want to make tight, polished puzzles. I think from the beginning, they came at this one and said, let's make this like a Lundra, let's make this like Lufia 2. Puzzles are like part of the identity of the game. They are a core bullet point, you know? Alright, so I need to be able to hit both of them because we did a thing earlier in the stage that established how this works. And if you hit it twice, I think that sends it straight down and not down diagonally. I'm actually not sure. No, that'll send it straight down. They taught us this when we weren't doing a boss fight, so it was a lot more chill. Oh, I see. We gotta be faster about it. Sweet. We'll fight. Yeah, but I think a game like The Witness or Baba Is You, like, those are puzzle games, right? So you would hope that, like, the core gameplay loop is satisfying. But there's a lot of RPGs, especially JRPGs, that include puzzles just cuz. Shit. Kind of been fighting the same 70 enemies over and over. Let's give you something different to do. Hit it with the wind thing. Knocks it away. We need to get that to get out of the stage. If I just shoot ice in there, it does nothing for me. I can't backtrack, and I don't think I'd want to backtrack. So part of the question is, why is this thing so freaking long? Does that matter? I don't think it does. We have random battles mid-puzzle. Yeah. Yeah, I like that this game generally lets you avoid battles outside of the important, like, dungeon and scripted ones. And doesn't try to put, you know, chocolate in my toothpaste. Doesn't try to, like, mix battles and puzzles too much, or if there is a puzzle battle, it's got a pretty singular focus to it. Like, I haven't really had a battle where it's like I needed to pause to know what was happening. You know, like the stage has done a good enough job of prepping me on the mechanic, and I kind of get it when I first get there. So I need to bounce this thing closer to me. Doesn't appear to be possible by default. Can't get back out of here, right? So leaving isn't part of the answer. Battle is a punishment for failure is not terrible. Oh, I bet that is it, isn't it? That doesn't really move it. Oh, tight pants. Now lightning matters. It's like these things have been able to be shocked so far, and it hasn't really mattered up till now. Fun. They really are. As I said before, I think the puzzles in this game are designed in the same style as, like, Jonathan Blow-does puzzle design. Of, like, they write themselves, you know, once you've established what your mechanics are. Okay, so one has to be going left, the other one has to be going right. Gotcha. Oh, they really gotta be timed better, huh? Good enough. Ooh, tight pants. You gotta watch through Homestar again. So much like the way I talk is inspired by Homestar, but I haven't watched through the archive in like a decade. Alright, we're establishing a rule here. We're doing shit with lightning now. To what end? Okay, and there's a little golf thingy there. Oh, Jim Jam. Why do I care about that? Okay, so I can just move that block back and forth at my whim. Jeez. Complicated. Okay. Let's assume that it needs to start there. Why, though? Probably because there's some kind of, like, chain of lightning rods that it needs to bounce off of there. How do I begin that chain, though? By doing that. Ah, but that is temporary? It appears to be permanent. Nope, it's temporary. Okay. Okay. Okay, I see. Gotcha. Now that might be permanent. But I still need to be able to get in there. Nope, it's not permanent. Okay, well that makes things complicated. Can't send a lightning ball in there because it's going to get eaten by the golf ball hole. So I need to move it here, right? And I can't ricochet into the little room with it. And I can't get through over there. And that's the extent of the puzzle. There's nothing else I can interact with on this side. I could try hitting it with wind to see if it pushes it out, maybe. Yeah, maybe that's the answer. Yeah, that's starting to get crazy. Okay. I feel like the lightning wind puzzles speak to me a little bit more than the fire ice ones. That's not the answer, actually. I can't tell if it's pushing it down or not, or if it's able to push it down. It's coming at it from such a weird angle. Yeah, it's not really pushing it. Okay. Lightning can't get over there, though, because it would get eaten by the floor crab. Can't really bounce. Oh. Oh, didn't even see that, so it's bounced that thing back again. So it has nothing to do with the wind ball. Got it. Smart. That's why you have so much time on this, I guess. Cool. Now I should just be able to charge it up. Gotcha. Very cool. Okay. Oh god. A little nervous. Sure. So that very temporarily destroys one of them, but not the other one. So I need to be able to blow them both up. Doubt that's the way I'm supposed to do it. Okay, well, I do have a bunch of these magnets. How do they work? I still have access to this little fella. Right, he actually doesn't care. This can't be right, but I want to fuck around with it really quick just to see. Okay, now it just knocks it back and forth anyway. Just for funsies, though. What happens if I shoot it down this way? Nope, doesn't matter. So it launch it southwest, which isn't helpful. Okay, next question. Why do I care about the height modifiers? Serves some purpose. So how am I ever supposed to get an ice thing in there? Bubbles don't care, like I can't shoot them through these things, right? This is deliberately set up so you don't have time to undo both fireballs. Okay, question. Does the solution to this very next step of this puzzle have anything at all to do with the magnets? It's question 1. Question 2, does the solution have anything at all to do with the height adjuster pillars? I can use the floor guide here. Does not. Seems to suggest I should be able to launch from like here, which, yes, that's true. Perhaps has something to do with the... Oh, I can rotate that through the wall. Okay, that changes things. Okay, actually I think I knew about that earlier. Alright. That's easy. Hopefully that shuts off the fire forever? Question mark. It does! Hooray! Alright, now I have to do pillar shenanigans. Oh my god, I have to keep it tall all the way. Holy shit. And then like launch it over this thing. Yeah. I forgot you could rotate them through walls. There were puzzle mechanics about that forever ago. So I think the experience is you launch this thing up like this, and then you shoot this guy. Oops, gotta turn into ice first, okay. I have some amount of time to move it over here. Oh, but I gotta be pretty quick about it. Shit. Good enough! Go! Alright. Cool. Yeah, week between sessions is pretty tough. Or shorter. Okay. I see. Going to great lengths to establish this here. Well, that was bad. I didn't get any healing here. Yeah, he takes no damage at all. Now I'm gonna die against this guy. Oh, interesting. It's the same solution, but now they have to travel further. Okay, we'll do phase 1 of this stupid. Doesn't really matter the order I hit it in here, I think. Trying to practice my perfect guards, probably not the best idea. So we gotta go first because it's further. Perfect. I want to make very sure you understand that mechanic. I could see it showing up in the final boss fight. 1337 credits. Seek the ultimate experience. Once we broke free of our chains, obliterated all the obstacles. Obtain the creative freedom we deemed necessary. Give shape to everything our mind had to offer. I'm talking about the royal we for, dude. I was about to be like, seems like there's a lot of spaces for floors, but I don't think they would do that. The royal wee man. Plane has crashed into the goddamn mountain. Oh, howdy. This is one of those super bosses that we had to let Schneider deal with before. What's his deal? RNG. He's got a big dice. Die that spawns. Okay. Okay. Alright. Well. This is gonna end badly. Elemental shift, huh? Interesting. That's cool. And this one has a phase change. Try to get the perfect guard. Everything in this game can be perfect guarded, right? Nothing is immune to it. Penetrates guard. Yeah, it hits you in the front and then in the back. Oh, it's interesting because the shield has to face it, right? You can't just press B. It can be guarded at all. It can be perfect guarded. Try to just dodge it. More practice at that anyway. It's a smart way to use those walls to lead to the fight part. Change the pattern with which I dodge. This explains my problem. Elemental shift. Get a pretty good phase change heal there still. Wind. Oh yeah, big like explodey balls. I forgot how ice worked. Is it just that big line of, yeah, those things? Oops. Very good. One is dead. Now we just run around and clean house. Smart. These are stealing your shield and makes some of those attacks block where they weren't before. Oh, that's cool. Seek the ultimate experience. Just as we reach the creative freedom required to create it, with a heavy heart we realize something else was amiss. The source of the experience. A player to enjoy it. Three laps. Thanks. Oh god. Keep talking about the Uber puzzle. This is the Uber puzzle. Gotham, you can't be serious. Alright, well, the more complex it is, the fewer options you actually have, right? So that should be helpful. It's automatically going to turn whatever I launch into ice. So let's start tracking it from the beginning here. Well, let's start from the end, actually. This guy goes here, this goes here. This needs to get lowered somehow. Probably involves these guys. Probably just that, maybe? Oh, that's not the thing I thought it was. That's what this is. It's more like it. Okay, so that lowers that thing. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Lower this thing. This is going to increase the speed, so we have to time that pretty well. Although it looks like it stays down for a while, so I don't have to be perfect with it. Bounce. Wait, is that even right? Okay, it is. Bounce, 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 bounce. So I have to stand here, and then as it moves, launch this thing. So we got to this puzzle and ended the stream. Nice. Oh geez, okay. So this involves these little teleporty guys. So we stand here, wait for the projectile to move past it. And then do I have an easy way to get to the warpy spot? Ooh, I'm not... Oh, can I bounce off that wall? Okay, that makes life easier. Question then is... I get back out by shooting this thing. Okay. Got it. Bounces through here. Bounce, bounce. This probably needs to be destroyed at the moment it reaches it. I guess that these guys are here just because to deal with like jitter as the projectile is traveling, just gonna get it back on track. Yeah. So, bounce, bounce, bounce. Wait a minute, that doesn't seem right. Bounce, bounce. Oop. Oh, maybe we're not supposed to destroy that the first time. Yeah, okay. So really it's gonna go boop, 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 and then back around. So that's when I have to melt this one. And the projectile will be moving slowly, so I should have time to deal with that. And the system mode option just slows these puzzles down. Does it just add an extra thing, or does it just make it so the projectile automatically moves more slowly? Right, so that should be for that. It's temporary and I have to aim it right. Bounce, bounce, melt, 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 melt. I see. So this one, not requiring you to melt it immediately, is kind of subverting what it's taught you up to that point if you're starting a really puzzle. So bounce, 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 and then as it gets here, I need to get ready and line the shot up. Okay. It continues that way. You can make it arbitrarily slow. That's cool. Glad they added stuff like that. I think I can just launch this from here without having to move it. Okay. Bounce. Bounce. Wow, it's like the beginning seems a lot more aggressive. I see. Little golf things to prevent you from cheesing it here. I'm actually curious, is like that enough? Nope. I see. Okay. And they give you a ton of time to like transfer from doing that solution to this solution. Okay. How about the beginning of the puzzle though? This is a way to reset it. Where's that thing? It's around, up, this way. This is just time for you to maneuver stuff. Down. Oh, I can't place this one too early because it has to hit this first. Okay, well at least it automatically moves it there as part of this. Well, no, maybe that's wrong. Hold on. Yeah, we don't want that. We do need it to hit this thing at some point, though. Oh, are they gonna be mean about this? Well, I'm gonna figure out the rest of it and I'll come back to this one. I think this one might behave a little bit differently if it's actually traveling straight down. Bounce, 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 bounce. Oh wait, straight down. So what's going to cause it to come to this one? Hitting this guy, maybe? For real? So I can launch that directly. Huh. You have to follow the whole puzzle so you see the whole thing. So if it hits this thing without this guy in the way, oh, I think I see. It's gotta start here and then I have to start moving it, which is why I have so much time to maneuver it, maybe? It's like an instant replay. Maybe that's not it. See, the problem then is that this block is never getting touched, though, right? That's an issue. Also, doesn't seem congruous with the way the rest of it works. So I know how to do the whole puzzle except for this part, so I'm going to try to keep playing around with it here. We know this is going to bounce, bounce, go through this wall, bounce, and it's going to hit this thing. I guess I can trigger that as it's moving. Jesus. I think this is the most like timing aggressive one. Alright, let me try to get up to this point at least. I should be able to. I have to already be over here ready to move the thing. Okay. Got it. I think I actually get this one. Give me a sec. Oh, but that already needs. That's gonna unfreeze. Oh, okay. Whoops. Nope. Too late. This guy here. Ooh. I gotta be much faster about that one. Okay. Okay, here we go. This is kind of a time catch here. Like, you need to be attentive at that area as soon as you get there. Shit. What is this again? Fuck. Ah! Alright, well, I got halfway through it though. That's pretty good. Now I just need to practice. At least these are set up so that you can practice them at the halfway point. It's really easy to like miss one step on this though. Oh shit. Watch that. That's already too late. Start over. Alright, here we go. Go. Oh no! Okay, I can't hit that with a sword. That's good. Pivot a little bit. Okay. Don't hit it the first time. Oh god. Robocollar. Don't do that. Let's try to be ready to port immediately. Shit. That sucks. Super annoying because it's a robocaller from a company that I'm actually associated with. It's Quicken Loans is trying to sell me a refinance and they're calling me multiple times per day. It's really starting to piss me off. It was a pretty good attempt until that happened. Hopefully that's good enough. It was. Cutting that real close there. Ah! Seek the ultimate experience. We all found was misery day after day. Lifeless shells of players floating through the worlds we created. Void of joy, far from the experience we desired. Over time we realized in dismay that our creations turned into bland routine. Okay. They're like, yeah, that's the end. We're not making you do more of those. I'm gonna turn on the heart rate monitor for that last attempt there. Jeez. This feels like the long elevator ride. Even if it has enemies on it, it still counts. Oh shit. Forgot about elemental overload. I'm gonna end up playing that again if there's another actual long hallway after this one. Alright. Totally intentional damage dodge there. Guessing these elemental dudes spawn forever in this phase. Glad it was only 3. Past attempts it has been more than 3. So I can keep burn on him, that would help. Best song in Undertale. Get the burn back on him. Everything's fine. Kill the wind ones. I can't heal on them. Heal on the lightning guy. Don't kill him immediately. I'm actually doing okay on health. Oh, don't heal each other. I mean, it's thematically appropriate for you to do that, but don't. Definitely heal the other guy. Stop interrupting me. It's extremely rude. Okay, I got a checkpoint heal for that. Cool. Reach the top? This is your long hallway. Not that long. What's up, Gotham? You've been a dick since the very beginning of the game. It's an empty vessel, a cage bird, now back again, whole and free, filled with boundless resourcefulness. There we desire, and thus... Look at all this health bar segments. So one is missing. Alright, chill. Ouch. Alright, let's try again. There's too many boss faces. I like how they can do meta stuff like that. Alright, so they hit it with whatever the current color weakness is. Makes sense. It's okay, he's probably gonna kill me in the first phase a few times. Burn is nice. So that's because of all the status rush abilities I've got. Right, that move. That attack. I think we learned a way to dodge it last time. Alright, chill. That's part of how you do it. I've actually landed Jolt on too many enemies in this game. Oh, that's cool. He shrinks the playfield. Dig it. That's an attack. I'm probably gonna have to turn on the heart rate monitor. It seems like it's a long fight. It'd suck to die partway through. Ouch. Phase change. Does he recover from status effects during phase changes? I assume he does. Turrets of Thunder. Oh, gross. And when he's... Oh, I see what I'm supposed to do there. Gotcha. Prevail. Attack sucks. Barrage of vibrating bullets. Ow, ow. Right. I'm gonna give you a chance to do some damage here, is what that was. Ow. Or heal. Shield was relevant in the end. Some explodey thing on the ground. Guess that's not blockable, is it? Ow, ow, ow. Let me go ahead and turn on the heart rate monitor right now. I'm not feeling it yet, but if we get far in this fight, I'm going to start to freak out. I'm feeling it a little bit, apparently. I don't have any elixirs. Got regen food, and that's about it. Nice break. Yeah, but when we say chug those elixirs, it's usually like, you got 1,000,000 of those, right? Because you've been saving them for the final boss. Like, nope, I've actually been using my consumables in this game. It is bite me in the now. Shit. Break isn't always an opportunity to do a bunch of damage. This rolls a burning fire. Ow, jeez. That attack's not fun to dodge. Same deal though, you get 2 chances to dodge and then you get a chance to DPS him. Right, this thing. Prevailed. I did, didn't I? I can't warp through the long one unless if there's always a secondary gap in it. Shrinking the arena during the fight is a classic. Kinda dig it. Shit. Okay, now we need to trigger the shield thing. Oof. Oof. Oh, that sucks. Mid dodge, too. Ugh. Thought I had a safe point to heal there. So we'll be doing this for the rest of the night. Maybe I haven't seen what he does in the end of the fight too, right? I can probably rely on the healing from phase changes rather than trying to use the wind heal. Laser's not great against him, turns out. It's pretty fast. It does an okay amount of damage. Just don't have a lot to do more damage than that. Like a level 2 ice melee did slightly more damage than the wind heal would have done. I guess the heal is less helpful in this fight because of the number of segments on his health bar. Ouch. I feel like I just need to drop off the stage when he does that. Sounds like I did 12,000 damage. Just 8,000 with my strongest melee hit. $6,000 with that. Alright, now we're getting into fun phase transition stuff. After that, you don't actually get to do extra damage to him. Okay. Tough to avoid. Ouch. Right, it has to be arranged. Now I can melee him with impunity. Oh, there's breakable blocks, that's right. I remember now. Here's burn. I usually get a pretty good hit off on him right at the start of the phase change, I think, if I've got charge for it. There's that. Don't try to go after him right after that transition. If I eat food before my buff is expired, do I get it back? Well, I think I have like really good food in here somewhere. Guacamole toast. What does Keeper do? That's supposed to be an avocado toast joke. XAP plus 20%. Credits. Okay, this is the level to do that on then. Oh wow, just dodge right through it. Perfect. Fire, he says. Sorry, nothing important. Turn that on quickly. One of these days I'll avoid that attack. There we go. Oops. Oh, sorry to end one. Oh, it takes forever to eat. Good to know. I'm dead. Oh yeah. Good timing. Should have been dead. There's a phase change. This is new. It looks to be extremely bad. I like the way the lasers are conveyed, though. It's a very, like, Undertale attack pattern. Oh, I had a chance to fuck him up after that, okay. Let's see the camera angle move. The experience, the real experience begins now. High into the sky we shall rise. I was pretty close to this phase transition when I died last time, remember? Cool. It almost even sounds like Dancing Mad. Da da. Years of creation. Oh yeah, no, the soundtrack is trying to evoke a lot of stuff. Brought us together to this place. Should be concluded. It's a cool, like, Ganesh enemy. Yeah, especially with the B3 organ, it's pretty great. I feel like there's been only a little bit of, like, actual Final Fantasy music in this game. There's been a lot of, like, Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross. Yeah, this is pretty great. Big fan. I love myself some Uematsu. Guess I'm supposed to be able to climb up on that? Oh, okay. They had that mistake with earlier fights. And he even has, that's like blue balls, right? From Link to the Past. Does a projectile attack that could alternately be a single big projectile or split into a bunch of mini projectiles. But it's predictable, it's not RNG. We have to chill off, that's cool. It's actually harder to dodge when he's chilled, although maybe the chill wore off. Totally intentional perfect guard there. That's cool. He's already taught us his neutral versions of these attacks, and now we're getting the elemental versions. I dig it. Okay. He's supposed to be like Ganesh. Base change. I think he's supposed to be Indian. So like instead of having a big angel, right, is what they're kind of going for. Like what's a divine figure that's still divine? It's kind of a different thing. I dig it. Should chill during that phase. So I need 2 phases to beat him regardless. Okay, got it. Oh, and he punches faster, that makes sense. Gotcha. Climb up. Oh, and there's little arrows on his trunk too, so you can see that's the way up. Gotcha. Time has come to rise further beyond. Boss HP. Ridiculous HP buff. We're gonna play that game again, huh, Gotham? Destroy the orbs to increase your attack. This is the hardest one to dodge, I think. We have a way to easily destroy those ice cubes. Attack plus. No, it's gotta be weakened for that to work. Shit. Oh, I'm super dead. Oh, jeez. Not good. Nice, give me a bunch of orbs. This is about to be bad. I got the heal thing off, that's good. Well, they brought back this mechanic for the endgame. Now they don't have to teach it to you, right? Because you already understand it. Just the damage numbers are so ridiculous. So it's like comparing my attack up versus his health up, okay. So I could have let that charge more, I guess, get more orbs or something. Or scroll orb type thing. It's okay, I gotta heal off. More important right now. Uh-oh. It's a Ganesh monster. It's supposed to like call to mind the... Oh, cool. Look at his boss HP multiplier. Supposed to call to mind the Kefka fight at the end of Final Fantasy VI returns into an angel, but instead of an angel, it is a divine creature from Hindu mythology. Oh, Jesus. Oh, I'm so fucked. It's still dodgeable. Rip. Different elemental phases. We're going to try to max his health multiplier before we go to him over here. This is a little bit easier now. So we have to hit it with ice, right? There we go. And that's enough to not quite max out my multiplier, but get it pretty close. So we have to do one more orb. The strength is like how many waves he gets to do, basically. Now we're at phase transition. Don't fall off, you dummy. Ow, 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 ow. Nice. It's the one that just bounces twice. See what the phase transition ends up being. A little nervous about that. Teleports and it shoots a thing. Alright, so when he does his big attack, just right here. Oh, I see. Gotcha. Clever. And I get a bunch of little balls. Still not anywhere near the amount of damage he's able to put out. There's a wind work here. Okay, that's not fun. Still not anywhere near enough damage to keep up with his health multiplier, but... we're gonna get a burn off on him. Probably immune to burn. Ouch. Ouch. Not as great that time. Also, I missed an orb. Shoot. I think that would have been the orb to put us on even playing field, so we'll have to do his next big mechanic thing. Unless if I kill this one. Nope, gonna have to do the big mechanic thing anyway. Alright. No problem. We're already at max orbs. No problem. Everything is fine. Nothing is ruined. Fantastic. Alright, lightning time, right? I'm gonna have to use wind teleports for. Look at his health multiplier. Okay. Cool. Give me them balls. Got my heal off. So it's like the wind attack, but faster with fewer mini balls coming at me. It's like a shock. It's like the opposite of the wind attack. Okay. It's gonna be good for this phase. Nice. My total multiplier is not great, but yeah, I like them too. You got tons of time to solve them. The level's been setting you up for those mechanics the whole time. But it's definitely in thematic keeping with the game up to this point, right? Now I should be at his level. It's definitely like the opposite of the wind attack. Big guy comes out and then has shockwaves. Sweet. Alright, so we've already seen every element. I wonder what his final phases will look like. All the elements, all at once. What that number is in scientific notation. Oh, yep, it's all the elements all at once. That's exactly what's happening. A lot of time to learn what we're doing here. Let me see. Clever. There's still fireballs shooting out everywhere. This one I had a much bigger issue with avoiding. Oh, it's actually not that bad. He's doing a final move where everything's happening. Of course. I love that the final attack is a dodge it attack. It's pretty great. Nice. Combo breaker. That was a super cool boss fight. That was like the perfect capstone. I mean, there might be another boss after that. I don't know that we're going to fight Sid well. He doesn't seem like a good idea.
What an easy win!
But whether or not that's the final boss, it's perfect. Thanks, Stargazer. Appreciate that. Yeah, the final attack is just like the most video gamey thing ever. I love it. He uses all 4 elements. Desire has been fulfilled. Our purpose has been served. What are you doing here? Foreign substance detected. Are you insane? Oh, the instant matter construction. Congratulations. Beat the challenge. I gave you my word. His eyes shaking. In Wasteland, the designer, my creations, my work, all gone, but I'm glad. Causing all this misery for so long. Finally, it's over. Tell everyone I'm sorry. So we can't, because I'm in some matter too, right? Time for me to log out. Damn. You reach the server. Nothing I can do here. Very unfortunate. Nicely done. Business went on for too long. It was some stale business model, but all things considered, it was a success. Wanted to keep a highly advanced AI technology away from the public, delaying the impact it would have on today's society. Power of empathy foiled my plans. Yeah, I kind of like that we didn't have to have an over-the-top encounter. We just did it because that's what Gautham wanted, and he's that sort of like game designer that he wants there to be a crazy dungeon and boss fight at the end. Like, it allowed them to include the thing that the video game needs for video gamey reasons, right, without it spoiling the arc of the story to that point. It's super good. I really want this game. I feel like I said earlier that this is a GDQ closing game. Just we have to get people to know that it exists. You get like Coexel to play it or something. So good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I keep telling people too, even off stream, I'm like, you gotta play this game. Like, it's so good. Is he gonna jump too? Because I didn't get the sense that he doesn't care about the avatars. Because the final boss has 30 minutes left. Yeah, we got time. Yeah, the crazy thing was that Gautham was actually physically here on the playground. Surrounded by instant matter. I'll give my... I've been, like, praising this game nonstop in every episode so far, but I'll run through the praises in summary when the credits play. Committed suicide within the dungeon compound. Yeah, been playing this about 1 day a week for the last couple months where that came up. Sounds like New Game Plus is fun to play, right? It's got like the Tales style where you can pick what you do and don't want to carry over. This is what happens when you make a developer work for an evil company or something. I think the core theming of the game with the avatars and the players is kind of covered more in the main arc, and it's just sort of like a story cap. The climax of the game is when Emily hugs Leah. Or they hug each other, I should say. Pretty good Act 2 low point, as far as Act 2 low points go. So I have to figure out what the deal is. Like, there's something fishy going on with the Citron. This game doesn't really seem to do anything for no reason. I began when I started to find my long lost. By now, those enemies are kind of a joke, right? And they call out, what if you turn on the boosters? Nice. She got beat up plenty by those hedgehogs in the beginning. You're well prepared, thanks for my amazing tutorial. Wonder how much of this text changes based on what you've done so far, like the boosters on or off. It's the only clue I had, that's why I put her into the game. Oh. With cute frog bunnies. Great Frobbit plague. Already reached the moving ices to the east. Yeah. The one where, like, they took the thing out of, was it ZG? And, like, they actually did some studies on it because players were behaving the way players actually behave in real-world plagues. Creating quarantine zones and stuff. But something like the hunter could get it on his pet or something and then take it out of the instance. Or her pet. You explore the jungle together with Grasshead. How often did you lose sight of it? I love this classic, like, you know, let's go tour the zones we visited. Next thing is to have, like, the enemies show up in the credits with their enemy names. Oh, that's adorable. It's Asimov who's talking, maybe. There's several people it could be. Lucas failed like 3 times. Aww. Friendship is magic. This game does a really good job of projecting that message in, like, the least corny way possible. Like, I don't think this game's corny at all. And sometimes it's corny on purpose, right? But JRPGs can be so, like, fucking saccharine and phony. They did a really good job of like creating believable relationships in this game with a small amount of text. You know? Like to see Persona try it when they have 100 times the text volume. But he's amazing at barbecues, being a proper stakeholder and all. The Ivan thing changes the ending. Makes sense. It's a pretty significant side quest. Are there any other side quests that change the... I guess that might be a spoiler. You can tell me during the credits. Oh, lovely hideout. Leah will be back, right? I'll try my best to make that happen. Aw. Yay, more value. Witness that infamous. Hey, they made a hug sprite for all the characters. I love it. Super match or Leah? Leah! Alright, farewell, Leah. Aw. That was great. Aw. Cool. We need to make sure we can meet again. Yeah, because they're releasing more stuff for this, right? There's gonna be like a big DLC that has that, the Uber dungeon. I am super sad that this game is over. This game is probably the most we've played, what, like 500 games on stream so far in Quest to beat every awesome game. And this is probably the most surprised I've been with a game. Usually it's like you go into it and there's all this critical acclaim. You're like, okay, this game got like a 95 on Metacritic. Temper my expectations. This one was a complete shock and surprise. I'll just say again, thanks to the folks that spent all the sphere points in voting this up and getting me to play it to its completion, especially Spikey for championing it and getting it on the sheet. And also to Chaos Factor for randomly including it in the 24-hour indie marathon, because I would not have played it otherwise. It was literally just, hey, what games came out that were indie games recently? It's so good. Everyone should tell all their friends about this. Saying the Passover Dianio about this game, it's like, you know, if the game just had good gameplay, it would have been enough. But if it had good gameplay and it didn't have good graphics, it would have been enough. But it has great art. If it just had good art, it would have been enough. If it just had awesome music, it would have been enough. Puzzles were really good, it would have been enough. But it like excels in every possible area. And it excels in spaces that I find indie games often do not excel. Like, storytelling is a big one. This game feels like it was written by someone that took some, like, film writing courses or something. Like, it's got a solid 3-act structure. It's got a lot of really precise dialogue. It achieves its points. It does some good world building. Nothing feels confusing or unearned. Like, oh, Firecrow beta tested this. I should shoot him a message. I was on a TwitchCon panel with him. Damn. No shit. Man, I have to talk about CrossCode. Yeah, they made it feel like a 2D MMO. They did such a good job of that I want them to make Crossworlds into a game, right? Yeah, no, they did great with like having fake players running around, making it believable that they were doing jumping puzzles or like sitting in hard to reach areas, or their dialogue all felt pretty natural. Like, I'm pretty sure this game was fairly top down. You know, they didn't decide what's the story that we want to tell. and who are the characters that we want to shoehorn into it, and how can we like shove that into the story? They were like, what's the setting? You know, what are the mechanics that we want to communicate, and what would flow naturally from that? I think everything starting from Vermilion Waste up until the hug with Emily is like some of the best emotionally resonant stuff I've done in a video game, which we've played a lot of emotionally resonant video games. Like, it's silly, but it's kind of up there with, like, you know, being crushed by Shadow of the Colossus or like the end of Silent Hill 2, you know? But that was the same thing where it's just like, you were in the middle of a raid and it was going really well and you suddenly got disconnected. Like, instead of saying, we want Emily to be mad at Leah, it was like, what would happen if this happened? They'd probably be pretty pissed. Emily would probably be pretty pissed. And, you know, how is that going to get resolved? Well, Citron is a rational dude, and he's going to ask these yes or no questions. Yeah. It's cool. Like, I'm super interested in both Crossworlds and the world that Crossworlds exists in, and the specific story of the Evotars and the protagonist of this game. It makes me interested to know if they continue to improve this game. Things that I could see them improving would be doing using color or outlines or something to help the player recognize whether the entity they're interacting with is intended to be a Crossworlds in-universe NPC, or like another player, or like actually a human in the game. Like, I think there are a couple scenes in the game that would work better if they had some system like that. For instance, the quest line with Henry, who's like, he's actually an NPC, but then they try to make you think that he's a player, but then it turns out he was an NPC all along. Like, if they had some sort of highlighting there that could tip you off that something was off, you know? But that's such a minor, like, complaints about this game are super minor. They're not even really complaints, just like little areas. Crossroads was a shell for actual ancient technology. Yeah, so I thought this game is definitely have a lot in common with Japanese games. I've said before that Japanese RPGs tend to be character-based and Western RPGs tend to be like setting, plot-focused. And there are a couple exceptions. So like Xenoblade feels like a Japanese RPG that is very Western in that it's a lot more focused on setting than it is on the characters. Mass Effect 2 is a Western RPG that feels like a JRPG because it's all about following these characters and getting invested in them. This game manages to do both, and I'm happy that it resolved on characters as the focus at the end of the story as opposed to setting, because it seemed like that's where they were going. Like, oh, the track is an actual thing and the company's trying to exploit this planet and find out what the Chozo people, like, okay, that's cool, but I don't know, it would have felt less resonant and exciting at the end of the game than basing it on Leah and the first scholars and the players that we've met in the game to this point. Yeah, so SERP, that's the other thing. So just generally doing a better job of distinguishing between what's supposed to be Crossworlds, what's supposed to be an NPC, what's supposed to be a player. I think using color highlighting or something to distinguish what's supposed to be Crossworlds lore versus like real world lore would be helpful. What else? Oh, elevation, I think, is something that most players get over about 20 hours into the game. And I don't know how they could help with the player understanding their elevation relative to other stuff on the map, because like the jumping puzzles are some of the best content in the entire game, but I feel like you have to be willing to put up with some bullshit early on before you kind of get how the different levels work. So maybe you could do something like make different levels slightly translucent, or add like a fog on the levels that you are on or aren't on. I highly recommend Leon playing this start to finish. It's pretty dependent on playing it from the beginning. Right. See if the projectile bounces off a wall or not. Right, we got post-credit story. I'm gonna shut up. This really don't make sense. Yeah, I thought something's going on. There's a loose end here. So I feel like the kind of writers that leave loose ends. call already? I think when I said that this game is a candidate for a GDQ closer, it's because it's like a 40-hour long, Chrono Trigger style game, but if you know what you're doing, it seems like you can blast through all of this content at like the speed of light. Just because there's so many mechanics to abuse and the combat's so fluid, and it's like explicitly set up that you can avoid its equivalent of random battles. Great news to share. Entertainment agreed on a research project. We'll be able to get avatars back in the game in a few months. They will return. Hooray! Whoa. What will happen next? It marks the beginning of the post-game episode. A collection of additional game content to be released eventually. You can save here to start with the post-game episode once it's available. Marks the beginning of Chapter 10, shortly after you met Satoshi. You also have the option to skip the final raid in dungeon. We'll make the post-game save. Leo will return. Samuel L. Jackson shows up. Wait, so I actually want to go right. How do I, just save on this side of the bridge or something? Meta space. Just save in this room. Okay, cool. Thanks. So this is like to create a save file for post-game content to jump right to it if you wanted to. So I just do that from the title screen. Yeah, there's very little degenerate challenge in this game. Like almost every single room in the entire game, almost every enemy in the game is a unique encounter in some way. There's something about it that makes it hard, more difficult, or more challenging, or at least different. The only difference, I think, is the overworld enemies are pretty much the same on every screen, but you can choose not to fight them if you want. Use accumulated trophy points to customize your game. I just want to check out what the options are here, and we'll wrap up a little early today. Options round checkboxes allow for only one option to be selected. Disable credits. Each option costs trophy points, and those are like the in-game achievements. Things that can't be carried over. Key items, contacts, quest progress, and statistics. So you can get quadruple experience. I wonder what the game's like without experience. Like if they actually thought about that, or they just included it because it's a thing to include. I think I can get everything. I'm not going to actually play through it, but neat. That's just from doing a lot of side quests in the game. Oh, there's more if we scroll down. I see. Drop rate up. Combat modifier. Prepare to high. Every hit instantly kills you. Sergi's hacks and do insane damage all the time. Okay, that's very Game Genie. Start with one dash, does 3 times your invincibility and less ending lag. Witch time. And Devil Trigger. Okay. So you got your Bayonetta, Devil May Cry. Always at max SP, and using combat arts doesn't consume SP. Devil May Cry / Beautiful Joe. Overload's disabled. Doubles the length of consumable items. Apollo has a point mode. Remove all shade blockades in the circuitry. Early access, nice. Diet versus feast. There is no cooldown. I'm so glad that there's both a healing item cooldown and that it requires in-game time to eat. Like, a game like this would be ruined, I think, if you could Skyrim heal and just pop in your inventory and slam cheese wheels in your mouth. Regular enemy and boss levels are matched to your stat average. Oh, so they add level scaling to the game. But that actually works pretty well for this game. I don't know that I feel like leveling up in this game is about getting new options more than it is about going back to early areas and one-shotting everything. New level 1 combat arts. Classic heals. Healing out of combat only possible at landmarks. Using the map menu to teleport is only possible at landmarks. So directly at Newcomer's Bridge. Oh, that's cost 0. Interesting. There's not much of a speedrunning community for this game right now, right? Ice physics are toggled on all the time. Who would want that? Oh, really? Change that conversation where Paul talks about you being level 4 if you carry your levels over. That's cool. Okay. This game's been awesome. I'm excited to see more from this developer. I'm excited to have beaten the game and unlock the wiki, so to speak, so I can, like, read all about it and its development without spoiling anything for myself. I want to know more about this team, and I want to, like, back anything that they make ever again with as much money as I can possibly throw at it, because we need more games from this team. Thanks, folks, for watching. I'll let you guys know what's coming up for the rest of the